This is StormCrew, a crew recovery advisor for airline operations control. When a storm grounds a hub, an airline must recrew the cascade of downstream flights by hand, a scramble that takes 4 to 12 hours under FA Part 117 and union contract limits. StormCrew is an augmentation layer on top of the solver stack an airline already owns. It recovers that crew in seconds, and every move it proposes is legal by construction. First, what is inside the engine? The optimizer is CBC, a proven mixed integer solver used as the engine. StormCrew does not claim to beat the solver. It uses one. The recovery is modeled as a set partition. Cover every open flight exactly once, use each crew at most once, and minimize cancellations first, then cost. The legality guarantee is the durable claim. FA Part 117 and the union agreement are enforced by action masking at duty generation. A maximum 13-hour duty period, 8 hours of flight time, 4 segments, a 30-minute minimum connection. Illegal duties are never created, so the engine cannot select an illegal plan. And it is not a marketing promise. Re-verifying live reruns the unit-tested invariance on this scenario. 0 illegal duties out of 1,762 generated, a blast radius of 53 flights, and a recovered plan that is a legal partition. The source is the demo's own test suite, rerun on the spot. Now the disruption. Injecting a storm grounds the busiest hub. StormCrew traces every flight that loses its crew, the grounded hub departures plus their one-hop downstream flights, and lights up the blast radius. 53 flights, in amber, now at risk. This is the cascade legacy tools see only after flights start canceling. Running recovery streams the pipeline live. Generate the legal recovery duties. Solve the set partition with CBC, verify legality, then shadow compare against the manual status quo. The whole thing finishes in a fraction of a second, and the result is a legal recovery plan. The recovery is published with its legality gate in full view. 52 of 52 duties legal, 0 contract violations, 34 crews, each used at most once, and the auto-approve gate confirms the cancel rate is within the operations center threshold, so this plan can be approved without escalation. Against the manual do-nothing status quo, which would strand the whole radius, this recovery recrews 52 of the 53 flights, 98%, avoiding 52 cancellations. In this scenario, that is about $2.4 million of DOT auto-refund exposure avoided. These scenario figures are labeled illustrative, not a headline claim. The durable, independently anchored claim is speed. The advisor solved this in a fraction of a second, against a sourced manual benchmark of 4 to 12 hours. That is the meltdown scramble turned into an instant, auditable recommendation. Crew utilization is shown line versus reserve, so the controller sees how thin the recovery ran. And the 0 illegal badge states the principle plainly. Part 117 and the contract are enforced in code by masking, not by trusting a model to behave. There is an optional co-pilot that explains a plan in plain English. It is advisory only, and it abstains without an API key, so the entire deterministic engine runs keyless. The gate decides, the co-pilot only narrates. Every stage is inspectable. The legal duty generation stage enumerated 1,762 candidate duties, each already masked to Part 117, and the contract, plus deadhead repositions and a cancel fallback so a legal answer always exists. The solve stage is the CBC engine itself, a set partition over 1,815 binary variables and 115 constraints, covering every open flight and enforcing crew exclusivity, solved to optimal. The verify stage audits the chosen plan after the fact. Every open flight covered exactly once, each crew used once, and for each duty the actual Part 117 and contract margins against their ceilings. 0 illegal. Finally, the plan is sealed into a signed certificate, the exact recovery plan JSON a controller signs off. The disruption, every action, the clause checked per move, the wall clock, and the savings. This is the operations center's record of why this recovery was recommended. But the honest test is the bad day. Switching on severe models, a major event with the reserves exhausted, only a fraction of the crews still available. A tool that silently auto-approves whatever it can is dangerous here. Re-injecting the Storm and recovering, the engine still returns a fully legal plan in a fraction of a second. But it would have to cancel 20 of the 53 flights, 38%, above the 15% auto-approve threshold. So instead of rubber stamping it, StormCrew escalates, human sign-off required. The plan is still shown and still zero illegal. It is simply flagged, not approved. That is the difference an operations center actually needs on the worst day of its year. A fast, legal, auditable recommendation, and the judgment to hand the hardest calls back to a human. Blast radius visibility, a hard legality guarantee, seconds instead of hours, and an escalation gate that knows when to stop. Not a replacement for the airline solver, an augmentation layer around it. From Veriprajna, building true intelligence.